Love Letter Star Wars. Recently, I went on a vacation with my family and also with another branch of my family. So there's going to be a lot of time hanging out with relatives. It's going to be great. And I decided before the vacation to go to my friendly local game store and to pick up a couple of games that were small, portable, easy, so I could also play with family members that maybe are not like, hardcore gamers. And this seems to be a no-brainer because it crossed all of those boxes, it ticked all of those boxes. At the same time, it's Love Letter and Star Wars, two things that I like very much. So here we have an implementation of Love Letter, in which the players are infiltrating Jabba the Hutt's lair and they're trying to accomplish different things. Yes, this is interesting because there is a difference from basic Love Letter, in which you have variable victory conditions. The idea is still the same, that each player has one card in their hand and they draw one card and then they play one. Incidentally, I broke my hand recently. Now it's in a brace. It used to be in a cast. This is the perfect game that you can play even if you only had two fingers sticking out. And so you draw a card and you play a card and you resolve the effect. Some effects will eliminate other players or yourself. There's a boomerang in some effects. And so a round may end with the last player standing scores a point, wins the round, and takes one of these awesome tokens. Otherwise, it may be that the round continues until the deck of cards is depleted, in which case the player with the highest value in their hand wins the round. This is for standard Love Letter. In this one, we have also variable victory conditions. So at the beginning of the game, the players choose or randomly draw one of these cards that stays in the middle of the table. And it's a victory condition for the entire game, not just for a single round. The rulebook says it multiple times because I guess it can be a source of confusion otherwise. We still have the victory condition of the highest number in hand. However, cards are divided into these two factions. These two factions here, and the player rate tells you which one goes on which side. Also, it's on the card itself, and also the effects. And so, for example, if this is the victory condition, then the player with the most cards with that symbol, rebellion, in their area will win the round. The highest number, both in Scum and Villainy and Rebellion in hand, both win the round, so up to two players can win that round. And the highest sum of Scum and Villainy in the play area wins the round. So very different conditions because one again is like in hand, but then also the fact that the cards in play, so in your personal play area, may score, gives a little bit of a, I don't know if it's a tableau building, but definitely your score, you're creating that area. And the more visible you are at the beginning, of course, if you're creating a really strong set of winning cards, then you may be targeted higher than, more intensely than otherwise, that if you play a good card toward the end and you complete a nice set, or in any case you have a strong scoring set here. So what do we have here? Innovations around Love Letter. Enough that the game feels really nice and fresh. Also, it has really cool art. And yet it still feels very much Love Letter, which is pretty much what I want when I get a new game in a known system. I want to see the things that I like about the system and something new and fresh. This game delivers perfectly in that sense because I got Love Letter, like that. I got a fun theme with Star Wars, and I got a couple of interesting twists, such as, again, the new victory conditions, the effects that have to do, some are known, with, guessing the number of the opponent. But as you can see, if you pause the video, the fact that they interact in different ways, depending on which side of the ethical dilemma they are, that again adds a couple of interesting, nice things. For some of my family members, this was the first time that they played a Love Letter game, and some were fairly young players, 10-year-old and 11-year-old, and they all enjoyed it. Actually, almost got to a little too much of a good thing, as my younger friends kept asking for more and more and more, and that's great. So, Love Letter, Star Wars. You got great art, fresh mechanics, all the fun stuff that we love in Love Letter, a couple of interesting interactions and ways in which you can use the cards, you can use deduction, and again, with variable victory conditions, then you really have a couple of interesting twists, including Han Solo possibly scoring an extra victory token if you have it in hand, regardless of how the round ended. It is a really fun, really effective, really nice implementation of Star Wars or Love Letter with a Star Wars theme. Again, in some cases, you may feel that they take a known game and they paste on the franchise, but I think here the two are integrated together very well.